If I love you, I can't lie to you.
Of course you can lie to me. And you will. If you love me and you're going off with Maddie someplace, you're lying to me. Because what the hell do I care about the truth? I care if you're there. What Billie Holiday say, hush now, don't explain.
All right, I accept that.
Of course you'll lie to me. Because I don't even want to care. What does the truth matter? And why are you going to be truthful with me when you lie to everybody else? You lied when you smiled at that cracker down the job, right? Lie to me, smile. Treat me the same way you would treat him.
I can't treat you the way I treat him.
You must. Because I've caught the frowns and the anger. He's happy with you. Of course he doesn't know you're unhappy. You grin at him all day long. You come home and I catch hell because I love you. I get least of you. I get the very minimum. And I'm saying, fake it with me. Is that too much of the black woman to ask of the black man? For 10 years, so that we can get a child on his feet that says, yeah, father smiled at me.
Wow, that's deep. So what I got from this small snippet, which seems to be a small part of a much bigger conversation, but just from this clip, it sounds like what she's saying is you show all this restraint and all this discipline over there because clearly you care about the effects of your actions and how you carry yourself, and you don't want to lose your job. Something is too important to lose over there at work, but whenever you come home, it seems like you don't care. You're willing to unload and give me the absolute worst of you because you don't care. So before she can even appreciate his truth and him being vulnerable or whatever, it's like she can't because it's coming at the detriment of her. So she'd rather have the fake version of him than the real version if it's going to continue hurting her. Now, with that being said, I don't think the solution is for him to come home and fake it, because your role whenever you go to work is to be agreeable and get a check. But whenever you come home, both man and woman, your role is to be real and to be loved. So the problem is, or the solution rather, isn't to fake it, but rather to deal with the real us and make that healthy to love. You get what I'm saying? Now, as women, that means y'all have to understand what characteristics make a man healthy to love before you love him. But first and foremost, fellas, is our responsibility to develop those characteristics in ourselves so that we are healthy to love. Now, this goes both ways on all sides, but of course, we're speaking specific to the video. So characteristics that make a man healthy to love, first off, is that a man's got to have a system of faith that he's committed to. Not just, oh, I'm spiritual because he don't like going to church. I'm talking about like actual, a real relationship that he's building with a higher power that he knows is in control, because any man that thinks he's always in control is a man that's spiritually unstable and emotionally a ticking time bomb, bound to go off on anybody, whether they're trying to love him or just in close proximity. Right? So the second characteristic of a man that's healthy to love is a man that's aware of his vices and knows what roads lead to those vices and has healthy alternatives. So some vices could be alcohol, drugs, sex with different women. So for some of us, it's physical violence, or like when we get to our lowest, darkest, worst versions of ourselves, we just want to break something. That's for a lot of people. That's what your vice is. Whenever you become that darkest version of yourself, what is it that you try to defer to naturally that you think is going to give you instant gratification and some kind of distraction away from that pain that you're feeling? Whatever that is, that's your vice. A man that's emotionally healthy to love, he has a hold on those vices and has an alternative so he doesn't take it out on his woman. The third thing that a man has to have in order to be healthy to love, he has to have the strength to be open with his woman about what's bothering him. Too many times we confuse strength as having the ability to just hold it all in and deal with it on our own. No, real strength is letting that woman in that's trying to love you so that she knows she's not the problem, or if she is, she knows exactly what she needs to work on. That reinforces transparency and communication in the relationship, but most importantly for the woman, it doesn't lead her to emotional instability and mental instability because she's always wondering if she's the issue, and then she starts to let that translate into her own self-worth. So the last thing that I'll say that a man has to have in order to be healthy to love, he has to have a daily implementation of habits that protect his emotional and mental health. Like, it has to be intentional, whether it's meditation in the morning, prayer in the morning, a book that he reads, the Bible, or a journal that he fills out, a podcast that he listens to, a time of day that he cuts off work, or a time that he must go to sleep in order to be his best self. This shows that his emotional and mental health is important to him. And since that's important to him, so will be the conversation whenever a woman wants to talk to him about the effects that it's having on her, that he's not made the progress that he still needs to make. Because too many times a woman will say, these things are affecting me. You come home and you always pissed off. You come home, you always mad, and you coming down on me. And then she gets trivialized or villainized for even bringing that conversation up. because it's not important to him. He's not even aware of the importance. Therefore, yeah, you are going to be the problem for making it a big deal in the relationship. So the solution isn't that we need to be faker with our partners. You know, the solution is that we need to make the real version of ourselves appropriate to be loved by our partners. So y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.